This is Autoline Daily, a show dedicated to enthusiasts of the global automotive industry. Elon Musk has always followed Henry Ford's strategy with the Model T. Just keep improving the car and don't change the styling. But with BYD sales surpassing Tesla in China, and with it losing market share globally, the time has come to change that strategy. And even Henry Ford came to realize that he needed new designs. And later today, Musk will present the next step in the company's master plan, and that could include a look at the updated styling for the Model 3 and Y. Reuters reports that the redesign of the Model 3 is codenamed Highland, and it will start production in China this September. The code name for the Model Y is Juniper, and it will go into production in October of 2024. These don't seem to be mild facelifts either. They require Tesla to retool its plant in China to make the new versions, which include changes to the exterior and interior. And while over-the-air updates keep making Teslas better all the time, we think a styling change will definitely be a big boost to sales. Mexico's president, Andrés Obrador, got a jump on Elon Musk and announced yesterday that Tesla will build a new plant in Monterrey, Mexico. Since the IRA provides generous subsidies of up to $45 per kilowatt hour for battery plants that are built in the US, we think what's going into Mexico is a vehicle assembly plant, not a battery plant. And we think that it could build Tesla's next-gen low-cost car that Elon Musk says will cost about $25,000. By the way, if you'd like to listen to Elon Musk's master plan presentation, we've got a link in today's transcript. It goes live at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Last week, the EU officially introduced legislation to ban ICE engines after 2035. But now Germany and Italy are saying, hold the horses. Last month, Italy said it prefers a 90% reduction in CO2 emissions, not 100%. And now Germany is pushing back too. The country's transportation minister isn't happy about going all EV. He wants exemptions for ICE cars that run on e-fuels, and he wants fuel cell cars as part of the equation too. And they're not the only ones. Poland and Hungary are also against the ICE ban, and if they don't go along with it, the whole deal could fall apart.
We want to know what drives your testing. OTA, connected car, diagnostics, remote testing. Intrepid Control Systems is here to help you work from anywhere. Intrepid Control Systems, driven by your data.
Stellantis CEO Carlos Tavares revealed a critical detail about the range extender that's going in the electric version of the Ram pickup. Rather than the engine providing any power to the wheels, Tavares says, quote, "By nature, a range extender is charging the battery, with your ICE engine revving at a constant speed." It is nice to start getting an understanding of how the system will work, but it could be a while before we're able to fill in all the blanks. The Ram 1500 REV isn't scheduled to launch until late next year. But Tavares also talked about making Ram a global brand. He says there's big business in pickup trucks outside of the US for people that are buying the US lifestyle and are paying a high price. And there's only one place in the entire world that we think best fits that description, and that's China. Speaking of Stellantis, it continues to make EV investments. Yesterday, it announced it's taking a stake in a copper mining company, and now we can report it's also pouring money into 3 plants in Indiana to make electric drive modules. Stellantis is investing $155 million to make the modules, which combine the motor, power electronics, and transmission into one unit. It will be used in both Stella frame and Stella large vehicles, like that Ram 1500 REV and the Peugeot Inception. and it will provide up to 500 miles or 800 kilometers of driving range. The cover for the electric drive modules will be made at a casting plant, then sent to a transmission plant for machining, before going to another transmission plant for gear machining and final assembly. Production is expected to start in the third quarter of 2024. And here's the interior of Buick's first all-electric SUV, the Electra E5, which recently went on sale in China. It's about the same size as the Cadillac Lyriq, and we see some basic similarities between the two. They both feature about the same amount of rear seat legroom. The E5 has just over 1,000 millimeters, or roughly 40.5 inches of space. The armrest and center console area is also similar, with a couple of cup holders and a rotary control knob for the display. And as for the large screen, it's more closely related to the one in the Lyriq than the EVs from Chevy and GMC. It's a 30-inch, 6K curved OLED display that runs off a Qualcomm Snapdragon platform, which also controls a 12.6-inch head-up display. We've shown off the E5 in past shows, as well as a slightly smaller E4 for the Chinese market, so we're starting to wonder, when will Buick announce its first EV for the US?
At Schaeffler, we pioneer motion. Electrifying mobility, manufacturing smarter, reducing CO2 emissions, making energy production clean. Schaeffler pioneers motion to advance how the world moves.
The plug-in hybrid version of the all-new Prius will have a lot more EV range than Toyota initially reported. It said it expected a roughly 50% improvement from the current model, which would have put it somewhere in the high 30s to low 40 miles of range. But with 17-inch wheels, the new Prius plug-in gets 105 kilometers or 65 miles of EV range according to the WLTC test cycle. That represents a 75% improvement over the current model. The version with 19-inch wheels also sees a big jump in range. It's rated at 87 kilometers or 54 miles. Toyota's new PHEV system consists of a lithium-ion battery, a 2-liter 4-cylinder engine, and an electric motor that combine for roughly 220 horsepower. However, we haven't seen any specs on the motor or the battery yet. The new Prius plug-in will go on sale in Japan on March 15th, so we'd expect other markets to follow soon. The U.S. Postal Service announced it will buy 9,250 Ford E-Transits for its fleet, and the first ones arrive in December. The USPS is also ordering 14,000 charging stations that will be installed in at least 75 post office locations within the next 12 months. The USPS didn't reveal how much the contracts it awarded are for, but it is part of an overall $9.6 billion investment to update its fleet. Some Chinese automakers are coming up with clever features in their cars. On Monday, we showed you how the Wuling Bingo EV comes with an air mattress that fits into the back of the car with the rear seats folded down. Now take a look at the Yudu Yun 2, which offers an optional karaoke machine. It includes 2 microphones, an extra subwoofer, and a game controller. Yudo says you can now sing impromptu anywhere, anytime. The little city electric car has a range of 200 miles and starts at $12,400. And that's a wrap for today's show. Thanks for tuning in, and hey, let's do this thing again tomorrow.
Autoline Daily is brought to you by Bridgestone, solutions for your journey. Intrepid Control Systems, over-the-air engineering, boost your game. And by Schaeffler, we pioneer motion.